Today, on Be Something Wonderful, the shocking truth about manifesting, what no one tells you. I am your host, Kearin, and these are the studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. One of you reached out to say, Tom, that was a real manifesting bombshell that you released on the Tom Kearin channel. This is our video yesterday, and the video is entitled, You're Not in the Simulation, You Are the Simulation. The message of that video is, you're not in the matrix, you are the matrix. You're not in physical reality, you are physical reality. And the things that we talked about in this video, well, we're going to unpack it today like we never have before. So, the shocking truth about manifesting is this. You are literally the things you want to manifest and experience in your reality. You are those things that you want and desire. That's why you want and desire them. You already are them. Right? Everything is made out of you, out of your experience of yourself. You as consciousness, conscious of yourself. You as awareness, aware of yourself. You're not in physical 3D reality. You are physical 3D reality. It doesn't mean that others are not real. Those things that appear to be outside of you, it doesn't mean that they're not real. They're just not what they seem. They're not as they seem. They are as you are. Just like you're standing in a mirror in your home and you're seeing that reflection. Well, if you're real, your reflection's real, but it's just not what it seems. Do you see it? It's not really outside of you. You are all of it. The ancients gave us a clue when they said this, all things were made through him, and without him, nothing was made that was made. All things were made through your awareness of being conscious of yourself. From your consciousness, from your awareness, all things are made. And without that consciousness, without that awareness of yourself, nothing was made that was made. It's all you. That's their message. Bashar said this, you actually are the reality you previously thought you existed in. He talked about this in the idea that this is how you have that experience of ascension or rising in consciousness, with this realization that you actually are the reality you previously thought you existed in. That's the bombshell, right? You are not in 3D physical reality. You are 3D physical reality. You are seeing and experiencing yourself from infinite new vantage points and perspectives in every moment of now. You as I am awareness. You don't exist in physical reality. You are physical reality. It is you, as Bashar said. And in John 18:8, the metaphysical meaning, of course, of Jesus Christ as your I am awareness, they were looking for him, right? He was claiming to be the Messiah and doing all these miracles and works and wonders. And they're looking for him, right? The Pharisees and others. And Jesus runs into them and he says to them, whom are you seeking? This is you as your I am awareness. Whom are you seeking? And they said, Jesus of Nazareth. And they all fall to the ground when he says Jesus of Nazareth, right? And then he asks them again, whom are you seeking? And he answers them, right? Jesus answers them, I am he. So I am he. He answers them twice. I am. He they added after, right? It's just I am. Whom are you seeking? Jesus of Nazareth. I am. In other words, I am the awareness of being. I am reality. It's not outside of you. I am it. I am all of it. Then he says, therefore, if you seek me, let those go their way. In other words, let every other notion that physical reality is outside of you, that you're manifesting something outside of yourself, let all that go. And know that you're manifesting, creating from within yourself, from who you are, from your own awareness of yourself as consciousness, as awareness of being. That's powerful. So Bashar says this, it's just an extension of your consciousness, physical 3D reality. It's just an experience in your consciousness. Physical reality is an experience. There is no physical reality except for your experience of it. This means your experiencing is reality. And you determine how you experience anything and everything. Your experiencing is reality. How you experience reality is your reality. So it's not about how, but it's about who. You, I am. How are you experiencing yourself? What's the conception or idea of yourself and your reality? That creates your entire life experience. Your concept of yourself manifests and creates your entire life experience. I am He, as Jesus answered. Therefore, if you seek me, let those go their way. Let these go their way. Let everything else go. Hold on to nothing except the idea that you are reality, that there is no other. I am God and there is no other. That was the message there. Wow. So, the larger and greater and more expansive concept, therefore, you have of yourself, the larger, the greater, and more expansive experience you have of reality. Do you see? It's all you. That's what enlightenment and awakening means. The greater, the larger, the more expansive, the greater viewpoint you have, a concept of yourself, an idea of yourself as reality, the greater, the larger, more expansive experience you have of reality as reality. Manifesting people, events, and things and experiences is not contrary to any of it, but rather it's the natural result or effect of becoming more aware and conscious of yourself as God, as Source, as the Creator, as all that is. Right? Some say, well, you shouldn't be manifesting things like money and specific persons and love and new jobs and all those things. That's all ego-based. No, guys, that's a natural unfolding of who you are, you being aware of yourself. That's the ego saying it's ego. That's the judging person judging themselves, right? That's judging the judging. There's no judgment here. All of that's none of it's contrary to being God or who you naturally are as consciousness. It's not about this or that or either or, but rather it's this and that. You are God and you're creating experiences of manifesting the money and the relationships and the new jobs and things that you want and desire. Because it's all you. It's seeing yourself from a different vantage point or perspective or viewpoint as I am awareness of being, as all that is. There's only one I am, knowing itself experientially through infinite perspectives and vantage points as you. Wow. So, I am, remember, means you exist as all that is. You exist as everything, everywhere, everyone, all at once. One awareness, one consciousness, one moment, one idea, one thought, one self-aware, intelligent mind, being aware of or experiencing itself from infinite perspectives. All at once, here and now, I am, I exist. The experience of a finite physical mind is simply a unique or different perspective or viewpoint or vantage point of all that you are as all that is. There are no finite, separate physical minds. There's only one mind that contains the all. No separation at all. For you as all that is, in every moment, you are experiencing yourself as a new, different identity. This is part of the bombshell that we talked about yesterday. In every moment, you are completely new. A new identity, a new past, present, and future, a new you. Every moment you're shifting and changing into this new identity. The physical 3D illusion is that you are the same person you were a moment ago, or yesterday, or 10 years ago, or 30 years ago. You're not. There's no continuity. There's no link or connection between who you define and assume yourself to be right now in this moment and the past yous, the past moments, the past identities. The only connection is other than as an expression of the one. God, it's God being God. It's all that is, knowing itself as all that is. It's the unity, seeing knowing yourself as that unity, knowing yourself as that simultaneous, limitless being from infinite perspectives. But no one perspective is linked to the other. They're all different aspects of you as that one. So I want to get to this today. So here you are as that one self-aware, all that is, I am awareness, that one perfect idea, that one perfect thought, that one divine mind. Then there are infinite versions and identities of you. Look at these, infinite. Defining and framing an idea of who you are in every moment. But none of these infinite identities are connected or linked to any other. You're new in every moment. You're looking out a new identity in every moment, not connected or linked to any past identity. You're creating it all now. No identity or frame is linked to any other. Total change of identity and reality in every moment. This is you, totally new in every moment. A new you, a new idea and concept of who you are. From that perspective, to experience yourself as that simultaneous being, experiencing simultaneous frames of experiences all at once, you create this idea of space and time and change. To know yourself as that identity. But look at this, you create a new idea of who you were and who you will be from this now moment. Even though it seems solid, that physical frame of reality, it seems continuous and solid and difficult to change, it's all changing. In every moment, you're completely new. A new version of who you were and a new version of who you will be, because the past and future are just ideas within you of who you are right now. Wow. Do you see that? They're just ideas. The new past idea of you, the new future idea of you are just ideas of who you are from this moment, from who you're defining yourself to be. So, again, you change, you shift, and you manifest a new, different you in every moment, past, present, and future. So how do I create and manifest my dream life, you ask? Bashar. So be the person you know you are now, instead of recreating the idea that you're still a person you've never been. Wow. That's how. Be the person you are assuming and imagining yourself to be, your dream identity, your dream reality. Instead of recreating an idea that you're still a person, you haven't changed, that you've never been. You have never been that person now that you are defining yourself in this new way. This is what Bashar said. Right? Another quote here. That definition, that new definition of you being in that dream reality, in that dream identity, imagining and assuming you are that new identity, literally makes you a completely different person who has never been that other person. Do you see this? In other words, when you define who you are in this moment, you create a new idea of who you were that makes space-time sense, linear sense to who you're defining yourself to be now. You were never that other one that you keep saying nothing has changed, I'm not my dream identity. No, you're that one that's always been living that dream identity because you're creating it right now, past, present, and future. Wow. There is no link or connection between identities unless you create them. There's no link or connection whatsoever between any of these identities, other than it's all an expression of all that is. But for you, as that point of consciousness, as that center of the divine, the one divine mind, there's no connection unless you link them together and say there is. From this new identity, creating a past, creating a future you get to determine it. And Bashar calls it the 13th step, referring to the idea of addictions. Right? We did a few videos on this, and I mentioned this in yesterday's video on the Tom Kearin channel. We've done a few videos where some of you reported about quitting smoking or some other addiction and not having any cravings for it anymore. In other words, you're no longer, it's not that you stopped the addiction. You're no longer the person who had that addiction. You're a new person. You defined yourself differently. So you have this new past idea of you never had the addiction. That's why you don't have the craving anymore. You're no longer that person, that identity that had the addiction. That's what we're talking about here. Bashar calls that the 13th step. Every change is a total change, and things are changing. As I said, this is what Bashar says, billions of times or frames per second. Billions of times or frames per second, you're changing identities and experiences. So as you define yourself who you are now, you're no longer that person that had that addiction or did this or felt stuck or trapped and felt like they weren't living their dream life. You're this new identity that creates a new idea of who you were. Unless you link it, unless you keep defining yourself. That's why Bashar says, so be the person you know you are now, the one you define yourself to be now, that dream identity, instead of recreating the idea that you're still a person that you've never been. When you say nothing's changed, you're creating that idea that you're still an identity, but you've never been that identity, but you're creating that idea that you were and still are. You've never been that person now that you're defining yourself in this way, in this new moment. That definition of you now literally makes you a completely different person who has never been that other person. That's powerful. That is the shocking truth about manifesting, what no one tells you. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and these are the studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, be sure to join us on the Tom Kearin channel. We have another big video coming. You can also watch yesterday's video. You're not in the simulation, you are the simulation. And we have more content coming. We also have our live event this month. At the end of the month, our 4th live event of the year. Be sure to join us. We just did another announcement on that. We'll make another one right before the event. Creators, with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.